Welcome to Chapter 9, Risk and Payment in International Business. There are country and political risks, commercial risks, bank risks, payment risk and transfer money risk, as well as currency risks. Risk for goods in transport and document risk. Goods cannot enter the foreign country because of inadequate documents. Customs duties, quotas, and taxes that changes and limit export and import, and also technical risks. You have risk in all kinds of business, both domestic and international. Risks increase with business in other countries because you have more limits to control them and less understanding of foreign markets. What are the chances that something is going to go wrong? How much can you tolerate? How can you reduce the impact of those risks? Before you enter a new market, analyze all risks and prepare how you will cope with them. It could be war, bankruptcy, or corruption. What happens if the currency you're invoicing in drops in value by 10%? You get paid less in your currency. Sales go down by 15%. You lose sales from one market. How much loss can you handle? You don't get paid from your foreign partner. How can you protect yourself? War erupts in a country you're doing business in or in a neighboring country, and the goods is stuck in the country and they cannot pay. Your distributor goes bankrupt, you lose your distributor and also the payments from them. You encounter production problems and can't deliver, or your sub-supplier can't deliver. What can you do? Competitors try to take over your market. There are technical problems with your products. Those are some questions you have to ask yourself. Complete a risk analysis for each country. Given what you know about each country, what could happen, and how you can prepare to deal with events. That will give you a good base if and when you are doing business there. Risks are greater when doing business with other countries because it's more difficult to control what's happening because of the distance. You think you are in agreement with your foreign partner, but the relationship breaks down. There's a language issue or communication problems. Country and political risks. Each country has their own system. How is the local banking system? How stable is the political system? Is there corruption and government instability, democracy, or dictatorship? Are the political risks connected to ongoing wars or revolution? Has the country recently emerged from a war? Can currency be used outside the country, or are the currency controls and import restrictions? There are sanctions against the country that do not allow outsiders to carry out business there. Political interference or regulations that prevent the transfer of money from a buyer to a seller. Political decisions such as naturalizing domestic or foreign companies. Search Google for country risk or international country risk guide. There are commercial risks occur in international and domestic business. It's often difficult to evaluate them when trading with foreign cultures. Foreign clients may have different ethics and business customs. That means willingness to pay. There could be requirements for customization of a product or service, specially delivery terms and transportation methods. In some countries, the buyer will be in trouble if they do not pay on time. Late payments trigger interest payments. In some countries, you may be forced to use a lawyer to get your payment. In some countries, it could be require more drastic actions. In Muslim countries, it's illegal to charge interest rate for late payments. You have to decide when it's too risky to do business in a country or whether it's possible for you to insure your goods and payments. Get used of how the banks work in your country. Check the system in a foreign country. Not only do they work differently, in some countries they are not reliable. That means your safe payment method at home does not work in a foreign country. Ethics can be different and confirmed letter of credit in a foreign country can be worthless. Your foreign partner wants to know their cost in the local currency. You therefore have to have an export price list in their currency or a neutral currency like US dollar, euro, or Japanese yen. The difference between your own currency and the foreign currency can fluctuate. The issuing country could devalue the currency. In exchange rate could eat up your profitability. By working in other countries than your own, you risk that the day of your payment the exchange rate will have changed. It could be positive but also negative. There are many ways to minimize your risk. We will cover this as well as using foreign exchange accounts and liquidity risk in a separate video. There are also very detailed information in our book. Your goods can be influenced by many risks. During the journey to the foreign country, it can be damaged, lost or stolen, but also be delayed or refused entry in the foreign country because the wrong documentation is included, or the authorities are very bureaucratic and find reason to delay the entry of the goods. There are many technical risks, such as if you have not adapted the product to the country or someone copies your product and sells it competing with you. It could be major functions of the product are not understood or the country does not use that type of product. It could be design fault, it does not work or is not suitable for the country. Production disruption and stoppages because of the lack of raw material, labor, unrest at supplier or sub-supplier. It could be production quality issues or different values. High quality differs in Japan or Pakistan. Analyze the technical risk for each country. Look at the skill level of the end user, the working environment and other aspects, and make sure you prepare for them appropriately. You failed to research the documentation required for a specific country. You failed to complete or incorrectly filled out the documentation. This can lead to non-payment of invoice. Your letter of credit was not filled out right and the goods could not enter the country. When the seller wants one method of payment and the buyer wants another, you have to compromise. Research customer creditworthiness in advance. Adapt payment methods to local practice and the type, value, goods, or transportation methods. The risk for non-payment not only depends on the customer but also the country when you are doing business. Some are less reliable than others. You can buy reports on country risk, including political risk from Dun & Bradstreet or The Economist. Web searches also provide information. Invoicing and getting paid on the domestic market is very familiar for you. However, when conducting business overseas, the situation is very different. What is common at home is perhaps not so on the foreign market. You have to know that your foreign partners have a good credit rating, but they will pay you, and how you can ensure that you get your money. Your shipping could take 5 to 6 weeks, and your foreign partner does not want to pay until they have received the goods. For you, perhaps 30 days credit is common, but for them it's 120 days. You have to take all this into consideration, including how the money would be transferred to you. The chart on this slide shows a number of different ways of getting paid and a rating of the risk with each of them. Not only are there different security levels with the payments, but the cost for you and the foreign partner differs too. There are also different ways to transfer payments. I will not explain all this for you now. We will produce a separate video for payments and pros and cons. Visit our website exportpro.com and you will find information there. There's also very detailed explanation in the book. You can pause the video here to review some examples of risks and type of payments. They're all in the book. Summary. Analyze all the risks and see how you can minimize them. Spread your risk by not having too much business in one country. Analyze each country and customer. Make sure that your products and services fit the new country and that you arrange shipments and insure them. Get professional advice from people who know the country and from bankers and freight forwarders who have done business there. Analyze the payment risk and select the right method for you and your client. Ensure the payment when possible, especially for large amounts, and if you're not sure of creditworthiness of the client. I have given you some samples of the chapter Risk and Payments in International Business. If you do not have the book yet, visit our website, exportpro.com. Click Look Inside. You will see the full introduction to the book, reading instructions, table of content, and the first page of each chapter. There's plenty of other useful information on our website, like articles, videos, question and answer, seminars and workshops, and an extensive list of useful links. You could also search for specific topics in the search area, like cash against document, and it will take you to the place on the website that is described. Or search for currency, and it will give you a number of sources on that topic. I hope you got some ideas what is covered in this chapter of my book. Each chapter has more detailed information on each subject. Good luck in your international business. Please remember, international business is not only export, but a two-way trade including importing, joint venture, licensing, and much more. Visit our website exportpro.com for more information.